Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to jump into the Dungeon Master's Guide, and we're going to look at a wand that is pretty darn useful. I've given this wand out a few times in my life, and it is a wand of negation. This a wand that negates other wands and staves and such. So wand of negation. This device operates to negate the spell or spell-like functions of rods, staves, wands, and other magical items. The individual with the negation wand points the device, and a pale gray beam shoots forth to touch the target, device or individual, depending on what you're aiming at. This will totally negate any wand function and make any other spell or spell-like function from a device 75% likely to be negated, whether it's a low-level spell or even if it is an ultra-powerful spell. Operation of the wand requires but one segment of a round. It can function but once per round, and each negation drains one charge. The wand cannot be recharged. So first thing you're thinking is, okay, great, fantastic. I can go ahead and the big bad evil guy's up there and he's got a wand he's going to zap my group with. I can use the wand of negation and I can negate the wand. And you can. And in fact, it does not give a saving throw. So it's kind of interesting that your wand is negating another wand and that wand does not get a saving throw. That's pretty cool. The other items have a 75% chance of malfunctioning. And I would include, of course, rods, staves. If you had armor or a sword or a shield that casts spells or use spell-like abilities, I would let that have a 75% chance of being negated. But I would require that the player character using the wand would have knowledge that your sword cast a spell or some spells. Otherwise, why would they know to do it and how come it worked? But I would throw the 75% and see if it did negate it. So if you had a wand of a +3 sword, but that +3 sword could cast Fireball once a week, and you had somebody fire a wand of negation at you and say they're targeting the sword, there goes your Fireball for that encounter. And I'm okay with that. I have no issue with that whatsoever. It doesn't say how long it's down, and it does say even if it's an ultra-powerful spell from an item. So if it were to be against a Staff of the Magi, for instance, or even an artifact, I would allow this to very temporarily negate an artifact. I would only allow the negation to be something like a couple of turns. Maybe I'd throw a 6-sider because wands operate at 6th level. I would allow, I'd throw a 6-sider and that would be how many turns the item was negated, and I would not share that with my players. And I also want to point out that magic resistance not only applies, but because the wand operates at 6th level regardless of who's wielding it, we would actually add 25% to the magic resistance. So if you had a target that had 50% magic resistance and you use this wand against them, they would have 75% against the wand itself. So there are limits to this, but it's still pretty good. The wand of negation itself gets you 3,500 experience points. It's right down there. And is 15,000 gold piece value, and anyone can use it. And that's one neat thing about this item. Anybody can use this wand of negation. So you can give it to a fighter, and the fighter can be coming in, and there's a magic user up there, and magic user's wielding a staff. The fighter, instead of leaping to the attack, can go ahead and cast the wand of negation and try to take out that staff. 75% chance of success. It's definitely worth doing. And at my table, that would be worth a minimum of 1 turn where that staff is no good. So I hope that Big Bad Evil Guy's got some other plan in his pocket because he's going to need it. I had player characters argue that the wand of negation should work against spells cast by the player or by an NPC or whoever, but it says clearly operates to negate the spell or spell-like functions of rods, staves, wands, and other magical items. Does not say player characters, does not say NPCs, does not say creatures that had natural spell casting ability like demons or anything like that. I do not allow it to work. I would not allow this to negate a spell. Say there's a wall of fire up there. If the spell was cast by a magic user, then the wall of fire is there, cast by him. It would not be affected by the wand of negation. And even the argument that it was cast by a wand, and I had this come up in a game, wall of fire cast by a wand, he wanted to use the wand of negation to negate that, and said, well, wait, it was from the wand. But no, this is not working against a spell that's already been cast by the device. It's working on the device itself, so the device cannot cast. And there's a significant difference there. And we had a discussion about it. We discussed it, and we were all friends, so it wasn't a big deal. But we ended up agreeing that it's only designed to negate items that cast spells or spell-like abilities, not the spell itself once it's out. I also would not allow this to work against a creature that had innate powers. Like a demon, you could not negate the demon's power with it, even if you got through the demon's MR or anything like that. But just an interesting magic item. I've always liked this item. I have given it out a few times, and I find it tends to not get used much, which is a shame because I gave one out just a few years ago with an eye toward the big bad evil guy being affected by it, and the players didn't take me up on it. They went another way and beat the crud out of the guy without actually needing the Wand of Negation. So there you have it. That's a quick look at a magic item that I like and that anybody can use. Let me know what you think. Have you had any of these at your table? And if so, how was the reaction? Did you have fun with it? Was it a problem? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Tell your friends. Let's keep growing the channel. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.